Good morning, everybody. Almost afternoon. Just wanted to give a little bit of an update on I should say, split solar system here, because what I do have is a split solar system. We have these wires were put in by the previous owner of this fifth wheel, and he basically did it so he ran everything on the fifth wheel that's 12 volt runs to these two. The white wires the negative and the blue wires the positive. And there's two wires because it's so much amperage from the whole thing. It's 3,500 watt total for the converter that it has on board. And so what I do is I got myself a 100 amp hour AGM battery, absorbed glass mat battery, which gives me 50 amp hours that it will actually let me use, which is more than enough for running the toilet and the sink and the water pump and all that stuff off a 12 volt. No problem whatsoever. And it's got its own little set of two little 100 watt solar panels that keep it charged up there to 13.5 to almost 14 volts all the time. And then at nighttime it gets down to about 12.2, 12.1. But as many of you that have run batteries know, you still got an entire volt to go. So technically this thing could run for days off this battery. And it already has, really, because before I hooked up the solar panels, this battery ran the entire thing for 5 days straight with no problems. By the end of the 5 days, the pump did start sounding a little bit sluggish, but we were still flushing the toilet and washing dishes. But anywho, this is just like to show you how simple you can be. And I'm going to be switching out these alligator clips from the charging ports for actual bolt-ons here. This is literally just to show you how simple it can be. But I go right from the two panels on the front of this thing, right to that charge controller, and then directly out to this battery, and then from the battery right to the system, which you already would have it hooked to the system through the batteries if they were in here already, which instead now all I have is my battery monitor, and already it's been charging at 13 amps for a while. But this battery monitor is for my main pack that I use for running all like my coffee maker, my vacuum cleaner, my air fryer. I have my internet's permanently off the grid now. I charge my cell phones off the grid. Very little of my power comes from my friend's house now. There's one air conditioner, my water heater, and one other thing that runs off my friend's house where they're letting me stay. But this is my main battery pack I showed a short video of yesterday. There's three 200 amp hour absorbed glass mat batteries, so I have a total of 600 amp hours, but technically, since they are lead acid batteries, I can only use them down to about half their capacity. So I really only have 300 amp hours of battery capacity here, which, since I'm running a 12 volt system, I figured I might as well make that be my minimum, so that if I do actually fully power up this 4,000 watt inverter, and I'm sucking that 333 theoretical amperage off these batteries, they will last more than just 10 seconds. They'll last about an hour. But running lower voltage things like my air fryer and such, I can run it for a couple hours as long as I'm just, being nice and careful with it. And it recharges the batteries really quickly. Got my charge controller here that shows the battery monitor showing it charging at 13.5 amps. I have a 250 amp fault shunt, just in case something decides to short circuit between my panels and the batteries. And both circuits of my inverter each have their own amperage shutoff for a case a voltage spike happens. There's another monitor shunt back there, so I have two shunts. Then I have my positive bus bar. This is my panel charge wire. Positive side going to my battery bank. The negative charge wire coming out the back here, coming up to the negative bus bar in the back, way back there. I have everything separated. I've got another panel shut off here. Another battery charge circuit breaker right here, so I can shut this off, and now my batteries are no longer charging 0 amps. So I literally add all these just for safety. I'm not going to end up lighting myself up on accident if I remember to shut everything off. And everything all together, I'm about probably close to $2,500 in on this. Each battery was $370 off of Amazon. I've got 6 panels up there, but only 4 of them charge this bank. I got 2 more coming in the mail. I have this 4,000 watt inverter plus another 3,000 watt one that I'm going to add to the system later when I add 3 more batteries, so that I can have a total of 7,000 watts that I can pull from if I ever needed to. And that's basically it. I just want to show this because, like, as long as you're careful and you know what you're doing a little bit, it's not that difficult. You can save a lot of money and get yourself off the grid, even if it's just a little bit at a time like this. Right now, I started with just one battery, that original small one, and I was charging cell phones. Then I got these two, and I was able to charge my phones and run my air conditioner or coffee maker. Now I got the third one. I can almost run anything I want to for about an hour. Really big stuff. I can run power tools and saws and drills, no problem. I love it. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Bye.